Hello friends, I thought I would pop on and do a quick October wrap up despite the fact that it's now November. I am still running late with these. I haven't caught my tail yet since coming back onto YouTube, but I'm trying to be a bit more persistent. This is actually my first ever wrap up video because I always mean to film them and I always forget. So yay, we actually have a wrap up video. So I'm going to go through the books that I read in October. I'm quite surprised that I managed to get through 6 books, some of which are quite big in October. So yeah, starting with, which did we start with? The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This book, oh my goodness, 5 out of 5. I loved the first one of these, which is A Deadly Education, which is the first in the Scholomance series. This is the second one, and I believe she's writing a third one due out in approximately 12 months' time. Oh gosh, I have to wait 12 months. This is brilliant. The ending, however, most annoying. I don't want to give too much away, but I literally sat and swore at the book for about 10 minutes after I finished reading it because I was like, you just cannot finish there. And I think a lot of people felt that way that have read it. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to find out what happens in book 3. Lots of twists and turns. Doesn't go the way you expect, or at least didn't go the way I expected it to go. So it keeps you guessing, which is really good. I love the way she writes. I just think these are great. I can't say enough nice things about this book. By the way, I'm not very good at book reviews, so this is practice, because I'm hoping to be able to start writing some book reviews soon as well. And by the way, also, disclaimer, if I look strange today, it's because I'm going up the yard to see my horse shortly, and I'm wearing horsey clothes. So yeah, you don't normally see me in bright pink, but hey. But yes, I would thoroughly recommend this book. As I say, 5 out of 5. If you like fantasy, if you like kind of magical school vibes, or magical school that wants to kill everybody vibes, then this is up your alley, and it's brilliant. Okay, so moving on. The second book I read this month was The Sound of Gravel by Ruth Warrener. I think that's how you pronounce her surname. This is a memoir of a young lady who grew up in a polygamous cult. This one's difficult. This one's hard to read in places, as you might expect, considering the subject matter. There are some triggers in here. I'm not going to tell you what they are because, again, spoilers, but if you think about reading this, please look up the trigger warnings on Goodreads because, yeah, it can be a little bit gritty in places. Nothing too drastic. Well, actually, yes, there are some quite drastic bits in it. But it's a very interesting book, an interesting story, very brutal, very truthful. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it other than it's emotional. You can't believe that these sort of things happen in a society that is the way ours is today, and yet there's these people that live in practically really bad conditions, real poverty, you know, the men having all the control. It's not good. Let's just put it that way. It's quite, as I say, it's quite an emotional read, but it's worth reading. I think this is the kind of story that needs to get out there, so I would recommend it. I gave this, I think, 4 stars. The reason for the 4 rather than the 5 is because it was difficult to read in places, and that's the writing as much as the storyline. But a brave book. Okay, then I'm not sure which order these came in. I can't remember, so I'm going to go with this one first. I surprisingly quite enjoyed this. This is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo. I read this as part of the Escape Room Challenge I did with Weeby Booking, a book club that I'm a member of, last month. This was for the prompt self-help book or something along those lines. I can't quite remember the prompt. I was surprisingly, I got through it quite quickly. I quite enjoyed it. I actually will use some of the techniques mentioned in this. I'm not going to go the whole hog and do the whole house because I'm not that brave. And I'm sorry, but 30 books? This is her suggestion, is that you have no more than 30 books. And I'm just like falling around on the floor laughing. But in other ways, she is very helpful. I think her sort of message about the things you have should be the things that you really love. That's quite a powerful one. So I would recommend this. I think I gave it 3.5. Again, it's not the easiest read. Obviously, it's non-fiction. It's not gripping or like enthralling in any way, but it is useful and helpful. And I think if you really wanted to get on top of your belongings and your house and have it really sort of neat and tidy and need a method to do that, then pick this up because it's worth it. And also, if you do want a copy, I have a copy available. I'm actually passing this on through Bookswap because it's not one I'm going to be reading again, but if anybody is interested, leave me a message down below and I'll let you know how you can get hold of it. Okay, moving on. I said that after everyone, don't I? I need some other phrases. So, this was brilliant. I love Barbara Erskine. She's one of my favourite authors of all time. I've been reading her since I was a teenager. My mum has every single book she's ever produced. So very useful library of mum, who passed this on to me to read. It's everything Barbara Erskine should be. It's historical fiction with some mystery, with some supernatural, with some spooky vibes. It was perfect for October. You've got ghosts, you've got legend, you've got I'm trying to remember the name of the king. King Ulfa, I think is how you pronounce it. He's Welsh, and despite the fact that I live in Wales, I am rubbish at Welsh pronunciation. So yeah, it's really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. The characters are really well developed. You get attached to them, and you really want to know what happens to them. Particularly there's one older lady, well not older, but like average age lady, who has sensitive powers, so she can pick up on things. And she ends up helping a younger girl who has only recently realised that she has the ability to sort of see spirits and pick up on ghostly vibes. Again, trying not to give too much away. But their relationship is really interesting throughout the book, and how she kind of finds her way. Definitely would recommend. As I say, it's a 5-star read from me. Every single book she's written is a 5-star read for me. So I thoroughly recommend Barbara Erskine. And then my favourite book of the month. This one has been sat on my bookshelf for quite a long time. And I'm sorry, but I have an itch. So it is The Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow. I couldn't remember then. I have a fancy copy because I got this from Illumina Crate and it is signed. I won't be getting rid of this book anytime soon. It was absolutely brilliant. I am very much into witchy stories, and this did not disappoint in any way, shape or form. Loved the characters and the fact that they're not kind of like your instantly lovable characters. You know, they're quite quirky, they're quite different, you know, they have some good sides and some bad sides, as do we all. It's really, really good. I read this so quickly, and it's a bit of a chunk for me. It's what, 500 and something pages, I think. Hang on, let's have a look. And they're big pages. So yeah, 513 pages. I think I read it in less than a week, which for me is really quick. I appreciate some people can read this sort of thing in a day. Not one of those people. But 5 out of 5. If I could give it more than that, I would. Definitely, if you like a witchy story, if you like some history, if you like some magic, and if you happen to be pagan or Wiccan, you will love this. It's so good. It's just so good. And yes, I think this is probably my favourite book of the year. So I can't say better than that. Pick it up. And then lastly, the last book I read in October, I'm running out of breath because I'm not used to doing this and I'm talking too quickly, is Sweet Bean Paste. This is by, I'm going to look at this because I can't pronounce his name, Jurian Sukagawa. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This book is another brave one. It's about, initially you start off and you think it's about Sweet Bean Paste, which is a confectionery that goes into various sweets in Japan. And it starts off talking about a chef who has a bit of an interesting background, and he meets an elderly lady who has been making sweet bean paste for the past 50 years. And the initial part of the story, they're talking about the sweet bean paste and how to improve it and the cooking, and you think, or I was thinking, it's interesting, but where's it going? And then it develops, and it actually tackles the subject of Hansen's disease. For those of you that don't know, Hansen's disease is also known as leprosy, which obviously is quite a sensitive subject. I didn't actually know that leprosy was curable these days. So this book not only taught me something, but also it's very emotive. It really makes you think, and it's also very beautiful in its own way. It's very typically Japanese, in my opinion. I've read a few Japanese authors, and they just have this ability to capture earth-real emotion. Now, that might sound really weird, but read it, you'll know what I mean. If anybody's read Haruki Murakami, he also is really good at that. That kind of not quite there, difficult to describe emotional feelings. Just so evocative. And yeah, again, this one for me, not quite a 5-star because it took me a while to get into it, but 4.5. But I definitely recommend it. It's a quick read. It's only little. I think it's 213 pages, but it's well worth picking up. You could do this in a day. I didn't. It took me longer than that, but you could, because once you start, you don't want to put it down. I literally think I read the last half of this book in the space of 24 hours. Thank you, girls, for the sprints, because that helped. You know who you are. So yeah, that's my October wrap up. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know if you like this kind of video. As I said, this is the first one I've done, so it'd be useful to know what you guys think and whether you think I could make it more interesting. Again, I'm sorry my background is not very exciting. I still have Halloween decorations up despite it being November. Haven't taken them down yet because I don't want to say goodbye to spooky season yet. Anyone else feel that way? Okay, so upcoming videos we will have in the future. There will be a November TBR when I figure it out. I'm doing a lot of things in November. I seem to have signed up for everything, and I'm trying to work out what books I'm reading. So that is coming, but again, I'm delayed, sorry. And also I just want to say shout out to some of my new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. It's lovely to see you all. I hope you enjoy the content, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.